What's up, yo? Gotta make another video. So, with everything that's happening in the world right now, where too many people start to the topic is going to be about hey boy, it's mainly going to be about why do so many people start caring about other people they don't even know? Could be the President of the United States, their neighbor, their friend, their parents, their siblings. There's so many people who are divided by the mindset they were taught to believe they are. And that's denial. That's ego. And this identity. And in truth, everyone has a point of view. And it can get very frustrating when you're a simple person with logic and you tell people the truth. And it can simply be focused on political views. Some people don't like Donald Trump for what they hear from the news and for what he signs and things like that with work, careers. But in truth, does it really affect your life? Are you going to allow another person to tell you you cannot do that because I tell you no? Are they always in your life or not? If you allow people in your mind to tell you you can't do that, are you really free? Are you in denial now? Yeah, you are. And see, look, do I like, see, here's something I will bring up. I will never be able to really know if I like somebody or not if I never meet them in person. That's all I can say. When you meet people who in person who either makes your gut twist. That's how you can tell something's not right. Something about them does not make you like what you're feeling from the person. And that's different from hearing about them on some news channel and, oh, they're a celebrity, they're a narcissist, they don't like this, blah, blah, blah. So if anybody else tries to tell me I'm wrong, I'm gonna doubt them. I'm not gonna hang out with them because they're a flying monkey to this person. And when I say flying monkey, people start to call you names. People, look, flying monkey is someone who reports back to the narcissist. And if they're not reporting back to the narcissist, they're not a flying monkey. And this is not, this is not a video where, it's not focusing on one person. It's really just realizing that some people are gonna fucking hate your guts for you just liking someone they do not like. Can you control them? No. Are you gonna be able to prove and provide them the truth by telling them this is how politics wants us to work? By dividing ourselves with more grief, by fighting each other to entertain the people who are in the secret society. I will not say their names. I will not say their cult name, because it's not my business. But there is a secret society, and many people, including very famous celebrities, again, I will not say their names, I will allow you to guess or assume, but there are people who listed their names to agree upon that they will be a member of this cult, and the punishment will be death. And if you ever talk about it with somebody else that's not a part of the cult, and if you marry somebody who's not a part of that cult, they will kill them. And they will make sure you lose everything you ever built. And this is a cult that has been known for a very, very long time. Again, I will not say anyone's name, because it is a form of respect, but it's also to protect my own well-being, including those who are watching this video. It's kind of like, Voldemort, Lucifer, the devil. They enjoy people talking about them because that gives them more power to silence them. It's like the files of the Epstein files and the Diddy files and all these other files that the government decides to, put on the table. But really, it's not the true truth. It's to distract people from what is really happening right now in their own life. Why do you care about someone who's not you? Why do you care if it's not affecting your life? You would only care if you were that woman who got raped by an old man on an island. You would try to provide information to people who were only the other girls who survived that island. But if you try to prove intelligent behavior towards men or women, evil people who really just do not care about you, to prove a point that these people are evil, to take them down. Like I said, I'm sorry that happened to you. It is not, nobody should ever go through that, ever. But then again, you went through it. For what cost? Your life, your soul, your mind, and your body. You saw things that people will never see every day. It's kind of like when aliens come to this world. They're killed. They're killed. That's why you never really see them ever. They're killed and then they're covered up by very secret, a very secret, society that does not want to be known. They show it right in front of you. But at the same time, they know how to divide people from accepting their truth, their own truth, by now depending on a lie that they now believe is the truth. And that is the Bible. A Bible that has been rewritten through time, after generation, after every little stupid little king that calls himself a man. But he becomes angry at those who live their truth. See, the Lord of Darkness is the very Lord of Christ that they, rewritten over and over and over and over and over again. And the true Jesus Christ speaks through frequency. speaks through you. You are the light. You are the truth and savior of your own path. Nobody but you can decide for you. That's the truth. Nobody but you can choose whether you sell your soul to the devil or you stand up for yourself and you find a way to do it yourself. Money is not evil. Money is only evil when you're manipulated to make more of it, but you're not benefiting from what you love because the devil turns you into a rat toy, into its own product. And now when you create things, you're not benefiting from it. They're benefiting from it. And if you dare to, say what's right, guess what? They try to scare the people around you by framing you, seducing you, blackmailing you. They know how to manipulate you. They know how to get you to do things that they want you to do. The devil is not just a goat with horns. The devil is a whole community, a whole society of people made to scare and use fear against you. They use the beauty of nature to ritualize God as their own ego. They try to make money your God by you depending on their hypocrisy. By you depending on them and not you. That's the truth, you guys. That's why you have to be careful with who you trust. Because there's a lot of people in this world but there's a lot of liars too. There's those who will be out there to use you, abuse you, and there will be those who want to be used and abused by you. That's the truth. That's the truth they try to stir and divide you from. They call it equal rights, when in truth, the original idea was to divide your idea from your own truth to the lie that they made for everyone else. The Bible does not speak the full truth. Jesus Christ, he did have a father. He had a mother. Mary was not a virgin. But neither do I. We'll never know the truth. We'll never know the truth if we search for it. We'll only know the truth when we go within. When you go within, you don't seek out for words. You only realize that you are God. You are the light. Everything around you belongs to you. Everything within you is a part of you. The trees, the mushrooms, the earth is you. It's a part of the body and the mind you're experiencing, while the very sun itself is the soul. You are a source of power that aligns you with the planets that speak through you with time and space. When you make and you take action, you're manifesting things that nobody else but you can build. The narcissist only desires to make sure that you do not know yourself enough to realize how powerful you are. The narcissist only wishes to divide you and your friends as equals. The narcissist desires your friends to be seen as enemies. The ego only hungers for more. It feeds off your integrity for more redemption. It prides for more intelligence, but it throws you away at the end. And that's what this cult is like. The devil is only strong enough to annihilate the light when the light is at its best, but most weakest state. And in truth, the light never loses. It may lose a battle. You will lose a lot of friends. You will lose a lot of people that you needed and depended on. But once you want those people in your life, that is when they must go. Please do not allow yourself to see that as a burden, as if God ignored you. No, that's not what it means. That's what the devil wanted every person who fell from, fear to, depression, and they believe that the light is not who they are, so they face the devil by thinking that, masturbating too much and smoking weed and things like that is too much. No, that's not it. It's not it at all. It's see, the narcissist will never understand you because they realize that you you will kick their ass in the end. I can't describe it because that's what the narcissist wants. The narcissist, these people who grouped up and they try to steer the wheel upon what is beyond their own control. See, these people, they use you as a supply, a resource. They are very clever. They act like they're a very good friend. That's their plan. Their first evil intent to destroy you is by making you believe that your best support is your enemy, where you are stupid and naive. They want you to see them as a mentor, someone where you trust them so much that you don't even trust yourself anymore. That's their goal. And when you put so much trust emotionally upon someone else who is not you, you're a supply. You're walking on eggshells now, and you don't even know about it yet. And this is what this cult is like to those who thought that signing that contract would take them out of that dream they were already living in. Freedom. Everybody thinks about money, and that's how, the narcissist divides you from yourself to material the industry world. Money will never make you happy. Money will buy you things to feel good about temporarily, and you will be able to do things to give to those who really need it. You know, like a homeless man, you talk to him and you find out that if he, is taking drugs, or if he's just there trying to survive and he hasn't ate food or anything. And when you see it in their eyes, you'll understand that they are coming from authenticity. And you give them money and they cry, and they will remember you. And that's what money is really good for, to help people. But you have to help yourself first. Don't just rely on contracts to save your life. Because in fact, when you're paid maybe $300 million, but there are a set of rules where these people start to tell you you can only spend $30 million in 1 month. After that, you're owned by the goat himself. You cannot spend any more money after that. Wherever that money is going is like tax money. They hold you in a net, in their grip. They tell you what to do. They tell you when to do it. They tell you how much you need to do to satisfy the devil. But really, they want you to do so much to a point you lose yourself. And I mean, not identically, like you're not the mind, but when you do too much, you get exhausted. You don't want to live anymore. You don't want to live in that life anymore, but you can't get out of it, because if you try to, everyone you know is gonna report back to the very person who owns you. That's why the cult, if you join a cult, it's not easy to leave. Everyone who is not a part of that cult dies in front of you. John Wick is a documentary. Harry Potter is a documentary. Doctor Who is a documentary. But that's the truth. You have to realize that in order to change yourself, be yourself, to have the power to change and know when to do it, where you have a balance and you have boundaries, you start from the bottom and now you're there. It's kind of like that song, started from the bottom and now we're here. But that's because that musician did start from the bottom. He has friends, he had a team. It wasn't easy for him to even, start. But when you start something and you finish it, and you don't rely on, the devil to do your work for you, like AI and fucking, another music record label to, boost your following and make you do things that you don't want to do. That's what labels are. And that's why Deadmau5, made his own record label, because there's a lot of people who will end up seeing you as an advantage to benefit them and not you. You'll get 25% while they get like the rest. They're millionaires, close to billionaires. Meanwhile, you don't have anything. You may think that you have a house, you have a family, but guess what? When you take a step back and if you're someone who lived that life and you're struggling to find out how to leave, well, first thing you have to realize is everyone that you trusted were, they were, how to describe this, they were introduced by the very same people who are keeping you from yourself. They trick you by making sure that you trust people that are deceptive, but they make sure that you stay in the line that benefits them and not you. They make sure that you believe that you're benefiting off everything in the entire situation of your whole life. But in reality, they own you. They own everything you have. Everything you thought you fell in love with was thrown away right when you wrote your name on that script. I, Alex Nisdo, that's my name, agrees with blah, 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 blah. And then after the blah, 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 they make sure that you do not talk about specific things that might expose their trust in you to not follow their exited flaws that they can change around, but you cannot. So if you change their rules and you do the same thing they did to you, that's when they will frame you, blackmail you, manipulate you to do things for them, but not for you in return. In return, you would get nothing. You would lose everything. Your family that you thought you could trust, but those It could be a woman, it could be a man, but that man or woman turned out to be the best friend of you know who. The entire time they framed you to believe you benefited off the whole thing. And most people end up committing suicide. Think about Michael Jackson. He thought he was living his life until he found out he was working for you know who. And you know who owned him like an object. Those who are now being investigated by the government are the very people who took advantage of everyone in this world. It's kind of like when you see people trespassing into properties that are private, but it extends to a point where you start to realize that all the celebrities that you thought you could trust are a part of this organization that is called the Secret Society. I do not know the name, and I wish not to. Like I said, I will not name anyone or the group. I will let you do that part of the work. I did my own research, but I will not say that name because I'm not just thinking about myself here. I'm thinking about my family, my life, my freedom, the time that I have, And I do not fear these people, but there are some things that can develop tactics to control how you think about yourself and how you will see yourself in this world. And the truth is how to really be free, how to free your mind from such deceptive behavior. Number one, don't let them in. Number two, live your life. Number three, learn from your mistakes. Number four, be yourself. Number five, go with the flow and trust the road. Number six, let the ego die. And number seven, let the things that are meant to be align. But instead, what the narcissist did, they took the 7 rules of truth and turned them into sins. They make you doubt your intuition. They divide you from who you really are with denial. They make sure that you do not see the light of day again. Pray that you are on the right path. And you are. You know, if anything scares you, just realize that you're on the right path. If it scares you, you are on the right path. Do not doubt who you are. Fear only shows itself when you realize that the mind can no longer control who you really are beyond its own conceptual logic of it cannot explain how powerful you really are. And that's the truth. So, I hope you'll enjoyed that video.
I won't bother you, I promise it's free leave.
No, like, like that bike on the road with his dog. He's authentic. The reason why he says that his dog will not bother you is because, you know, it comes with ties and tangles. And shame. Some people are bothered, but they act like they're not. Those are the things you gotta pay attention for. Try not to make people like you. Do not please the wrong people. Therefore, they will have the worst intentions. You know, do not waste your life on people who will only try to hurt you more. Life is full of beauty, and it's also full of destruction too. But beauty always finds itself. Like that fucking cat over there. Look at that. Garfield. See that? That's a cat. Oh. Hello. Bye bye. Like I said, when it's a beautiful day outside, take advantage, because if I stayed home, I would never have saw that beautiful orange cat sitting there being a cat. I have 6 cats. And yeah, that's about it, yo. I'm heading into the store. My intuition said, go this way. Try not to, control. Don't allow your mind to control the flow. Sometimes sometimes the most scariest roads might even end up being the most beautiful fucking roads, where you meet people, they might go, you might never see them again, or maybe you'll find them somewhere and say, what a small fucking world, Embrace it. Live your life. Don't be stuck in a box all the time. Trust the flow. Trust God, meaning yourself. And realize that not everyone that comes into your life and tries to destroy it with their gaslighting attacks, in truth and in reality, everyone in the room are just like you. There's only a 3% chance you'll bump into a narcissist every single day. It's the truth. These people might seem like they're everywhere, but no, they're not. They're only at places that made you believe there is. Trust the process, you guys. If it's not your time, it's not your time. You'll know when. Peace out.